All right, so Coach, just 2 games into the season, we talked in the preseason about installing your new offense and all of the elements of that. Where do you think the team is right now as far as schematically getting that in?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. 2 games, 2 wins. We've got the entire offense in. Spent the whole camp, fall camp, installing everything. It took us 5 or 6 installs to get everything in. Now, of course, every week there's little tweaks, little things you change, whether it's formation or scheme. So keep doing that. But obviously the guys have bought into what we're doing, executing at a high level right now, all positions. Tempo. First game Tennessee, tempo wasn't quite where we like it. Some of that had to do with us using the silent count, I think. Saturday night, come out here against Furman, and right off the bat, the tempo was good. I think they pushed the tempo the entire game, and that showed in the second half in our run game. I think we go into halftime 60 or 70 yards rushing. We get 130, 140 in the second half, and I think it's because of the tempo. Anytime you can wear down that front, wear down that D-line with your offensive lineman, makes their job a little bit easier.
Seemed like there was more throwing in the first half in the Furman contest, and you got down a good margin, 2 possessions.
Yeah.
What was the change? When noticing in the press box, it seemed like there was more tempo and a lot more focus on the run, getting the ball to some of the players there. Was that something that halftime-wise, like we need to run the ball a little bit more, speed things up?
A little bit. Our plan coming out, we started out empty.
Okay.
Started out, and we wanted to throw the ball and get the tempo going early. And, we were successful first drive, go down. I think we had 9 plays, got a personal foul penalty that kind of put us behind the sticks, and then we had an execution issue down there. But then going into halftime, we try to pride ourselves, on taking what the defense gives us. We don't care. I've said it before, we have to throw it 50 times a game or run it 50 times a game, whatever it takes to move the football. But we wanted to be balanced, wanted to try to be balanced. We saw some things there at halftime, talked some things over at halftime that we had seen them do in the first half and we expected them to do in the second half. But not a lot of changes. Just started executing a little more. Again, the tempo, I think, was huge for wearing those guys down. I think, the tempo is for everybody, but it's mainly for your offensive line. I think those guys were a little bit easier to block there in the second half and the fourth quarter because of the tempo, the way we pushed the tempo the entire game, than they were there at the beginning. So I think the tempo showed a little bit there.
Yeah, and then Dan Ellington, big performance from him. Looked like he picked up a little bit of a leg injury. He was limp. Looked like he was struggling a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Did that really force you to maybe throw the ball more and less direct run options for him in the contest?
We were a little concerned there for a second, but we called a few passes, and I saw him scramble around and move around fine. So once we saw him do that, then the whole plan was back in. But the guys just went and executed. I tell them all the time, it's not the plays we run, it's how we run the plays. And execution was a little bit better. And Dan, I think, had a phenomenal game. Anytime, I think he was 78% completion percentage, and I stress to him all the time, the only 2 stats I'm concerned with from a quarterback are turnovers, not having them,
no interceptions,
and completion percentage. And to be 78% and then have 5 touchdown passes to 5 different guys, getting the ball in the playmaker's hands there, especially in the second half, just worked like it should.
Yeah, 3 more things. What about that offensive line? A very dominant performance against Tennessee, very strong against Furman. What's that been like? And just, it's your first year here, but that has been a struggle blocking at the line of scrimmage in the past. But it looks like through 2 games, we've seen some steady improvement from that unit.
No doubt. And anytime you have a strong, experienced offensive line, that makes everybody's job easier. Makes my job easier as a play caller, makes Dan, the quarterback, his job a whole lot easier. And, those guys are just playing well right now, and it's the big thing is you look at your left side, and I don't know how many 50-something combined starts there by our left guard and left tackle, and you can't replace experience, and those guys being football savvy, is huge, and then our center's playing well right now. Malik's a young guy, but But you turn on film the last 2 weeks and even throughout fall camp, and you see him playing well. You see him doing the things that he needs to do. And communication-wise, you know, your center kind of controls communication, IDs, where the pass pro's going. So just a phenomenal job. But to answer your question, you know, anytime those guys up front are doing well, makes everybody's job easy.
And the depth of the lineup is showing. First game, Trey had a big running performance. This past game had more passing, and Cornelius had a big game.
Yeah.
What about the depth that you have at your skill positions, especially at some younger guys, being some sophomores and some redshirt freshmen, and them contributing?
Well, and depth is so huge, you know, especially again with that tempo offense. You know, guys are going to get tired, you know, eventually. So being able to run guys in and not having any second thoughts about can they execute what we call, yeah, that's beneficial. Makes my job a lot easier. So, you know, you start at the running back position, tons of depth there. You know, there's 3-4 guys right there that you feel comfortable, you know, on the field at any time. And then again, like you say, the wide outs, the production, spreading the ball around. I know we had a guy with 10 catches, had a guy with 8 catches, had a guy with 7 catches. Yeah. So spreading it around, and you know, you talk about being a balanced offense. I think it's what you worry about is being balanced in how you get the ball to your skill guys. You know, whether it's running back, tight end, wide outs. You know, not just counting on one or two, but spreading it out and making defenses account for everybody. And usually that's the only balance that we worry about.
And then lastly, Western Michigan heading up there, a long road trip for you.
Yeah.
What have you seen from them, just studying them, and what would the offense have to execute well to, you know, put up some points?
Well, you know, and it's early on. We looked at them a little bit yesterday. You know, the first thing that kind of stands out is their front. I think they're really good and really experienced on the D line and that linebackers. So that's the first thing that jumps out with you. You know, anytime you go on the road, I think you got to take your discipline with you. You know, I think that's huge. So we got to play a disciplined game. Can't beat ourselves. Can't turn the ball over. Can't have any negative yardage plays. You know, just control what we can control and take care of our job. You know, most of the time, and obviously you got to put some focus on who you're playing and what they're doing. But majority of the time, we focus on us. You know, how can we get better? How can we improve our fundamentals? How can we improve our technique? So we're going to do that this week, and hopefully we'll come out on top.